This is the Garden of Remembrance in the West End Cemetery in Kimberley. There are 380 odd soldiers of the Boer War buried here, and their names are listed on this marvellous monument. But where is this spot? This one at least tells us that he died close to the trenches at Magersfontein. The Duke of Edinburgh's own volunteer rifles is today known as the Cape Town Rifles. This is their commanding officer, who is killed in action at Farber's Putt. Another tragedy becomes an epitaph. And this one is a very important one. Freddie Tait was a famous golfer who lost his life during the Boer War. And as you can see, he's remembered by others who still suffer from the same affliction. They are maddened by golf. This medallion is hanging from his cross, and on the obverse says this: Freddie Tait Centenary, Kimberley 2000. And this little card is attached to one of the wreaths here. Memory of Lieutenant F.G. Tait, Black Watch, Royal Highland Regiment, from the Black Watch and Highland Brigade golf team, taking part in the Freddie Tait Golf Week at the Kimberley Golf Club, 31st January to 8th of February 2000, the centenary of his death. Another unusual headstone, Alexander Pollock, who died in his blockhouse, 16th of January 1902. This one to Lieutenant Colonel Northcott of the Leinster Regiment, killed at Murray River.
Yeah.
Captain Majendie was one of the men who proved to the Ordnance Board that the Snyder ammunition, which is self-contained ammunition, was safer than the old powder and ball cartridges that they used to produce for the muzzle-loading rifles. And he did this by firing a musket into a barrel full of the powder and ball cartridges, and firing another musket into a barrel of Snyder cartridges. The powder and ball blew up, burnt every cartridge. The musket, the Snyder ammunition, just fired one or two and that were damaged with the initial explosion. The Snyder cartridges were comparatively undamaged, one or two blew, but the other barrel just burnt completely, the whole lot went.
That is fantastic, and they actually used that as proof that the Snyders were going to be a far more effective military round. And of course, much safer. Thanks, Mal. Lieutenant Colonel Keith Falconer also lost a brother within a few weeks of his death. These are all men who lost their lives at the Battle of Frostban, and their names are on the other side of this monument as well. The top one, Midshipman Huddart, Kimberley Huddart, RN, was the first Australian to lose his life in the Boer War. He was serving in the Royal Navy at the time. This long, sad list of members of the Black Watch who lost their lives in one day at Magersfontein was a sad portent of what was going to come 12 years later, or 14 years later in their case. But at that stage, in British military history, this was a shocking loss. Seaforth Highlanders, also the Highland Brigade that morning, or that day. More Magersfontein losses, Highland Brigade. And the Highland Light Infantry. Also the Gordon Highlanders were not part of the Highland Brigade in that morning attack on Navy HMS Doris, Midshipman Huddart.